let's start. Thank you so much for everyone that's here. It's a little less than what we hoped for at this time, and so here today, a lot of people will come. First of all, I want to thank everyone that came, also thank the other partners that are here for this AnthroArt Conference, for the AnthroArt project. Some of you are here already on the project because they participated, like Patricia, others are some for the first time. This is a project that's been going on for 2 years, funded by the European Union, by the Creative Europe project, or initiative in this case. And we've been working for 2 years to bring anthropology and art to the main public. The way we've been doing it is through using texts from researchers and people connected to anthropology, either in professional or academic fields, and also using those texts to create impact art with artists, national and international. We also developed boot camps and exhibitions of art, like the one that's here, and others, as you can see. And it's been an interesting journey of 2 years. So the right time is this morning we're going to speak a little bit about each company, each partner, to see what's been going on and how we've been developing the project. And in the afternoon we have a talk with some researchers from Portugal about applied anthropology, how it's been applied to AnthroArt education, also a kind of a theme. And I hope you like it. So without further ado, I'll probably invite Maria from Antropedia to talk a little bit.
Sit down because the light comes in my face. Hello everyone, my name is Maria Rădan-Papasima. I'm half of Antropedia. This is a small research company that is based in Romania. Let me just add my timer. So I'm going to speak a bit of the wider context and how I got to be part of this project. So my title is Building a Digital Space for Wider Public, the intersections between art and anthropology, and I put digital in brackets, so you will see why later. So this is our company, and these are the projects that we've been working on during the past years. And in the center we have AnthroArt with another local project called the Academic Quarter. So how I got to this, like my main aim and wish and desire was to take out a lot of resources that are a lot of knowledge resources that are generated in academia that don't reach the public. Like in the social sciences and in anthropology, you have a lot of like long-term research. I'm not sure that the public are you anthropologists or are you right? So we have one artist and one anthropologist. The research that is done in the academic environment is usually it ends up in academic articles that are published in academic journals that don't have wide circulation, and they're also written in a very, I would say, complicated jargon, and they have a lot of technical terms. So basically, it's difficult to have them read by anyone else who's not professional. So I started a local project 4 years ago 3,000 words, 3,000 words, to write them as much as possible in a general audience-friendly way. And then we invited artists to create illustrations inspired from those texts. And we also wanted to have an audio version of the papers, so to enable people to listen to the text when they were. Actually, the first idea was because the Romanian project, it's called the Academic Quarter. And I don't know if you have this in Romania. It's like when you are late, you can be late 15 minutes, and this is called the Academic Quarter. So I wanted to market this and say, okay, if you have to wait for your friends, just listen to a podcast, an anthropology podcast during this academic quarter. Okay, this is the Romanian. So the Romanian platform was quite successful. In the beginning, we had funding from a local National Administration of Cultural Fund, and they are giving funding for cultural projects. So in our case, we kind of snuck in anthropology, saying, okay, anthropology deals with culture in a wide sense. And also we work with artists and with actors who will read the podcast. So we convinced them to grant us this funding. And we prepared, like in the first year, we had a set of 40 articles, and we collaborated with, I think, 10 artists in the beginning. It was a bit difficult because we had nothing to show, no platform. So everyone that joined in the beginning had to do it on believing in the idea, but not actually seeing how it would look. And I had no connections in the artistic world. I'm an anthropologist. I come from let's say academic background. So I had to find artists on Behance or on Instagram, just approach them and invite them to join us. And we had a few who accepted. So after this first 40 articles were published and the platform was launched, let's say we built our network stronger, and people saw that the result is nice. It had a very good impact. And the following year, we had another round of funding for another 60 articles. So up to the present day, this platform has over 100 articles, and we collaborated with 70 researchers. Basically almost everyone in Romania, because our social anthropology research community is not so big. So I managed to just get involved in the most part of, let's say, researchers in the field. And artists started to approach us, they were writing to us, offering to collaborate. So I wanted to work with as many artists as possible, just to create a variety of styles and just to explore, because everyone has their own unique style. So it was really exciting every time, I had a new collaboration and see a new approach. And so at the same time, 2 years ago, I wanted to build an English version, an international platform. So we had an opportunity with the Creative Europe funding program that brought us together. I got in touch and we partnered up with Ambigrama, and AnthroArt was born. And probably, I guess, do you know the platform? You for sure know it because you worked for the platform, and I'm not sure how much I should talk about the platform. So
I didn't know it, but
yeah, so it's probably then it would be good to just go online and show it. Also, we worked with an artist to create the visual of the website, an illustrator. So we had 2 rounds of calls for papers. In the first year, we were our call was the article part looks. I cannot click it for some reason. Yeah. So this is how it looks, and basically, yeah, I'm having some technical issues. Sorry. So you have the short abstract and the illustration. Then here you can listen to the podcast, and you have the long article, and you have the videos of the artists and the author. Right. So this was the digital part, the online part, but we had an offline side of the project, trying to bring awareness to all this content that was published online. And one way of doing that was through artworks, mural paintings that were inspired by the boot camps. We had artists who took part in these workshops, and then they designed a mural painting. These are the ones that we did in Romania. And this is the one inspired by the social inclusion and inequality theme last year. And this is the one that we did this year on the theme of sustainability. We were aiming in the beginning to have the murals in a public place, on the street somewhere, but it was a bit difficult to secure permissions, and basically I didn't manage to get an outdoor setup for this, but the first mural is inside the Faculty of Sociology and Social Work at the University of Bucharest, and the second mural is in a school in Bucharest, a school where children with hearing disabilities and children from different social work cases that they work there, so they study. And the school had been recently renovated, and it was all really blank and boring, so they were really happy to have this. And one other way of showing this and bringing it offline to the public was through an exhibition. This was called, I labeled it The Art of Observation. And this exhibition brings in together the Romanian project with all the art that was created on the first platform with the art that is created in the AnthroArt. And initially it was supposed to be a one-time thing in Romania last year, but because there was a lot of interest and people liked it a lot, I received a lot of invitations from other. So this was the first one in Bucharest, and then we had another opportunity again to organize it again in Bucharest. And then I received several invitations that gave me a reason to write another project and another funding application for this year. And we took this exhibition on tour in various locations in Romania. So yeah, we were free for the final one in the very north of the country. Somebody just professor there just told us, look, I really want this, I'm going to pay for the transport, I want to bring these boards here, and basically they did everything. And then we also took it abroad. We had an opportunity this year with two events. The People Fest, organized by the British Association of Social Anthropologists in Manchester, which was a public anthropology festival, first edition, and they hosted our exhibition, and then the Barcelona, the EASA exhibition, where over 3,000 anthropologists came. So it was a good exposure. Again, it wasn't really for the public, at least in the anthropologist conference in Barcelona, but we thought it's important to give it as an example, and maybe inspire other people to do the same. are a few images from the exhibitions. This is the first one, Romania, and then another one. So the board, and you can see here on the outside of the room, some of the boards, the posters for the Romanian one. I created big and heavy boards that were really hard to carry, and so there was a lot of learning in this process of skills that are not really, they don't come with in the anthropology toolbox, let's say. So you discover that you need to figure out how to hang boards or how to transport them or how to create sustainable packaging, because now we travel to 7 towns and I didn't want to have plastic and cardboard, so I had to design some packaging. Yeah, but it was. This is the Manchester exhibition. So for the exhibitions abroad, we made more compact and easy to carry posters that are yeah. And finally, in this autumn, we got invited by a big ethnographic film festival in one of the Romania's larger towns. And they offered us a chance to display it in the public square, which is, I think this was the best exposure that we got in terms of reaching the general public. This place was really a lot of traffic with a lot of people. It was there for 1 week. So, in terms of impact, that's the part where we are not so, let's say, our information is still a bit limited. I can't say for sure how big is the audience that we reached and who is this audience exactly. We have some insights from our analytics from the website, except for a period when the analytics was down between April and September. You can see the flat line, so I'm not sure what happened there. So this is another skill that we're supposed to have, like a technical skill. But we, over the past 2 years, we had more than 6,000 users on our website, and 1,100 are returning. So this, we can assume that these people are really interested in our content. But if we look at the engagement, I mean the average, this is the average, and let's say some people get there like by accident, but they spend a little time on the website, 1 minute and 20 seconds. So that raises some questions about how engaged they are. And this is a chart showing how their countries of origin. We relied a lot on social media. In Romania, social media, Facebook is still quite big, at least in this, let's say, bubble of anthropologists and their friends. So the Romanian platform has a decent reach, it's 2,000 followers, which are reflected on the platform traffic, because there we have, I think, 60,000 users and 10,000 returning users. It's a bit bigger, but I think it was thanks to this, to the social media being more, being like a source that sends users there. I even got on national TV. At some point, I had the chance to speak about the project. But I want to show you another thing about social media. It's a Romanian article. It's the Romanian article that got the most engagement. We were paying also for it was like a small sum of money, creating a paid ad. And this one had 4 times or 5 times more reactions than our usual. It was almost 2,000 users, 48 comments, 46 comments. It was an article about priests in the village, like the role of a priest in the village life. But it was a critical one. And looking at the comments, you know, people were just posting amen, which gave us like, made us think that, you know, they were not really reading the content. So I think even the social media engagement is misleading. It's hard to say, like you count the numbers of views, you count the comments, but then, yeah. So I'm not sure now, as key learnings or like findings from this project, I think it was important that we got to discover alternative ways of conveying meaning and insight, so through art and through these applied workshops that were really effective in this way. And another thing was that we are aiming to educate the public, but we also discovered, at least in the Romanian case, that many professors use it for their students now, use these platforms for their students. I have many of my friends who are teaching at the university telling me this is a great resource for students, students are using it a lot, and I didn't really expect this because this also shows the shift in the student behavior, because students are not so willing to read long articles anymore. At least in Romania, this is everybody complains about this. So these kind of texts are more accessible. We also succeeded in getting some stakeholders interested in the local administration, and one of the boot camps that we had this year in Romania was in partnership with the city council in one of the Romanian Bucharest districts, and just finishing. So that was also, I think it's one of the highlights and successes of this initiative. It enabled a lot of networking and collaboration opportunities and job opportunities. People find out about each other's work, and there were some other collaborations that arose from this. But my questions remain, like how to improve engagement, how to measure engagement, and then another question is who should take on this task. Like I was hoping that we are setting an example, we're creating a model that maybe universities will pick up. They might create maybe a department in its anthropology department could have like their PR or communication department that could produce this kind of content and could distribute it and communicate it to the public. So yeah, that's why it's like I'm hoping this is a template that can be replicated. We are open to new partnerships and to taking this further. And yeah, thank you.
Do you have questions?
Yeah, I'm not sure if maybe I wasn't sure if the question was an hour later. There was a round of questions at the end, but I'm happy to take questions now. Maybe it's best.
I mean, it's something about the impact. That you kind of mentioned this already, like how to measure it. Another thing that I was kind of curious about is like how did you, but I think this is with each of the projects, how did you manage to financially plan? As you say, like you started this from a certain a prototype of that, but then you also managed to discover along the way okay, I have to find out ways to have this or to bring this or then the social media to be involved in it. Did you notice that the starting budget that you have, I noticed with my own project, did you notice that this kind of is very difficult to plan?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because of these funding applications, at least in Romania, you are really forced to give exact. In the beginning of the project, you are meant to say exactly what we will be spending the money on. So it's really challenging to so you have like big categories of budget that you cannot really shift around too much. So there are some fine tuning that you can do, but not a lot. The European project was a bit more flexible, I think. We are not supposed to give an account, such a detailed account of the expenses, so we had a bit more freedom. But yeah, it's difficult, and I have a whole new topic of thought and inquiry about the project, like how people now are forced to think in terms of projects, and it's a really strange way of, let's say, shaping reality in a way, because you are forced to set some targets and then they don't correspond with reality. The experience is so much more complex, and it's always a struggle, like to reconcile everything, you know.
And in terms of, you mentioned outdoor paintings, like Romania, my research was here, so it was made on street art and Romania. I'm very curious how you thought, was it more difficult to obtain permission because the government doesn't embrace so much the urban art scene or the rural art scene, or it was more just the bureaucracy that
I think it's a bit of both. I mean, it is, I think they are more conservative, you know, and in terms of just street art in general, it's not, you don't see it in so many places. Permissions you have, because I wanted to do it that's on a building facade that was even close to where I live, and then I found out that you have to get permission for everybody who lives in this building, like, I don't know, 40 families or something like that. And of course somebody will have something against. So I didn't even, I mean, also because the time was quite short, so and when they gave me the other option, like, you could do this or you could go to this school, I said yeah, because the time was limited and the energy, you know that. Maybe then I will say more about the Portuguese case, because I think you are going to do 2 paintings soon, or you're